The Aston Martin DB9 is one of my favourite GT cars. It's elegant and powerful and really fun to drive. But today it faces the question, is it really the best Aston Martin to drive? Well, we're joined today by its younger, potentially nimbler sibling, the V8 Vantage. So we're at Mallory Park. Why don't we find out?
So which one looks better? Well, personally, I don't see a great deal of difference. I think that both cars are just beautiful. But everyone I've shown both cars to so far seems to just prefer the V8 Vantage. I think it's likely because the V8 Vantage looks wider than the DB9, even though it's actually slightly narrower. That's because the car is shorter, so proportionately it looks wider. But in the end, who really cares? They both look amazing, right?
So Aston Martin DB9. Helpfully, James has put a camera right in front of the left passenger side mirror, so I can't really see out of it. So I'll have to keep extra vision on the internal mirror. Listen to that V12, awesome. So DB9, Aston Martin DB9, Mallory Park. I don't know this circuit. Did do a couple of warm-up laps a minute ago to just kind of familiarise myself. There's a lot of traffic on this track day, but we're not after lap times. We just want to know which is the better driver's car, Aston Martin DB9 or Aston Martin V8 Vantage, which we've got being delivered to the circuit later for us to test. So these smaller cars can't live with the beautiful V12 in the Aston. I think they tend to be a little bit quicker in the corners because they're obviously light. Look at that Clio pulling on us. But on the straight, we're gonna eat him for lunch. So coming hard on the power now, nearly, hard on the power now, fourth gear. It's the party piece of the DB9 really is the V12, 6 litre V12 engine. Just sounds so good, and it performs pretty well as well, I have to say. And what I really like about it is it doesn't feel like a heavy engine. V12 cars I've driven before, you know, they make a great noise and they got a lot of punch, but you feel the weight. Whereas with this, oh, they're not gonna like that. With this one, you don't really feel the weight. Apart from just them when we did. I think it's okay to pass here, is it? We're on a track day, so you're not supposed to pass in corners, but I'm going to say they were letting us go. And the gearbox is, you know, it's not quite up to modern standards in terms of the, you know, the shift time. It's not like a double clutchy, but it's pretty good. I mean, once you get used to it, coming from a more modern car, first of all, it doesn't feel that great, especially on circuit. As soon as you get used to it, you just have to know you change slightly in advance because it's not as quick as a modern gearbox. Obviously, it is an auto box still. It's not semi-automatic. Which has got a lot of advantages. That Clio's probably going to be a little bit irritated with us stopping in front of him in the corner. But stick a V12 in it, mate, like this. It'll be mega. But you know, I want to talk about the handling of this car because when I drove it in the wet at Brands Hatch, I was really impressed. I drove an M4 CS on the same day, a couple of hours apart, and it was an absolute animal compared to this, and not necessarily in a good way. It was kind of trying to kill me. This, by contrast, pretty much same kind of lap times in the wet, and you know, just incredibly easy to drive by comparison. You can see I'm not really working at the steering wheel here. It'll kind of, it's just easy. It's well set up as a GT car. And even if you do carry a little bit too much speed every now and again, it's easy to scrub it off. The car's looking after you, but it's not over nannying you, which I really like. It lets you drive it, but it's been set up to be easy to drive. Soft suspension, being a GT car, it's not a race car. And that'll be really interesting to see how the V8 Vantage compares. I would expect it to be a little bit more race car than this, not having driven one before. So we'll find out. So yeah, it's really pretty easy to summarise the DB9. Great chassis, nice suspension, pretty good gearbox, incredible engine. And the package is just, it's just lovely. So the plan is, we've got the V8 Vantage manual, which is the one you want. So with the DB9, you want the auto because the manual's rubbish. And with the V8 Vantage, it's the opposite. You want the manual because the auto's rubbish. This is the consensus. It's not me saying that. And that's what we're going to be comparing. So we're comparing the two best of the breed, if you wanted to put it that way. Well, the two cars to have. I'm going to let this Fiesta go because I feel like we're kind of blocking him a little bit in the corner. It's a little bit unfair because he hasn't got V12, poor boy. So I'll let him go. Give the car half a lap to cool down. It's a yellow flag there anyway. But yeah, I mean, I enjoy driving this car. I'm not usually, was that a red flag I just saw? No, that was a red car that had it. Might be lunchtime, you know. Yeah, it's, I'm not usually a massive fan of softly sprung cars, but the suspension's so well sorted in these, it really is. And it just makes it nice and easy to drive. It's so comfortable, even on track, when you're kind of hustling it along a little bit. It's just easy and nice to drive, and it still gives you loads of feedback. A lot of the time, when cars are softly sprung or too softly sprung, you don't really feel what they're doing, they're sort of lumbering about. This doesn't do that. You feel the weight shift, and you know, you still have a great feeling about what the tyres are doing on the surface of the road. Yeah, I just really like it. I just really do think this is, I think no one really talks about the handling of the DB9 from what I can tell. They talk about other things, good and bad. But for me, the handling is one of the best things about it. It's just considering it's got a big old V12 lump up there. Are we still going? I don't think there is a checkered flag, so we'll try and get one more lap in. We'll let the car cool down enough. That's the Suzuki Swift Sport in front of us. I wonder if it's one of the cars we're going to be racing here in about a month. Need to go and show him who's boss, in which case. And we're almost out of fuel here. Then we're going to run out of fuel more quickly than we're going to run out of track time. See if we can do this Suzuki Swift by the end of the straight. Goodbye. It's as quick in the corner though. It's not a bit quicker. They're good. They're great cars in the corners. The Suzuki Swift Sports, especially the race version. He can't live with us because he hasn't got an Aston Martin V12. I'm going to brake a little bit earlier here this time. We've got normal road brakes on this car, and the pedal was going a tiny bit long there. Fairly hard circuit on brakes, I would say. We're just going to try first for this hairpin this time. Got an aerial Atom behind us. go. And there's the checkered flag, so it's lunchtime now, which James will be happy about. We haven't had any breakfast today, and he does like to eat regularly, every sort of hour and a half or so. And then, if all goes to plan, we're going to have the V8 Vantage turning up shortly. And then we'll get that out after lunch, do some laps in it, and I will give you a conclusive answer on which is the better driver's car. So let's try the V8 Vantage now. It's just started to rain a little bit a moment ago. Listen to that sound straight away though, that V8 rumble. Mega. Quite a different sound to the V12. But immediately it feels quite similar. Apart from being a manual, there's the other big difference, or the main big difference that you notice straight away. Hopefully the brakes work. Not had this car on track at all yet. James asked me to take that curb. Doesn't quite feel right somehow. So it's not kind of, I was expecting it to be a little bit stiffer than this, but it's not stupidly stiff. It still feels kind of GT-like. Remembering it is a road car, of course. But listen to that sound. I mean, Aston Martin make cars that sound good. A lot of feel in the brake pedal, more so than with the DB9. If that's going to still be the case once they start heating up, I don't know, but the brake pedal is certainly firmer. Steering wheel's not quite straight. Catch third. Do we keep it in third? We're probably going to hit the rev limiter. Manual kind of works nicely for the hairpin. You can feel the car's quicker in the hairpin there, for sure. That Mini's kind of fast. No match for the Aston V8 though. Got an MG ZS in front of us. One of my favourite cars. So obviously, remind you, we're on a track day, we're not allowed to overtake in corners. But hopefully we can do him on the straight. Is he gonna let us go? Oh, try not to drive off the circuit, Adam. Sharper turning, for sure, than the DB9. Now we do still have traction control on, and I need to try and work out how to turn it off. Hopefully it's exactly the same as with the Aston. Yeah, in the slow stuff, it's definitely faster. It's not as dissimilar as I thought, honestly. I mean, where's our traction control? Is it there? That's it. Try in fourth gear this time. One hand. All right, has it gone off? Yes, we got the traction control off. Can I handle this thing with the traction control off? So for turn one, it does seem like fourth gear is better there at Mallory Park. I would quite enjoy the, this might be fourth as well, I'm not sure. What a lovely noise this car makes. Not sure which one I prefer. I think I prefer, in terms of the noise, I think I probably just prefer the V12 noise. But this car is actually, so it's got a nice light, but comparatively light V8 engine, and it's actually considered mid-engined, even though the engine's at the front, because it's behind, or the bulk of the engine at least, I think possibly all of it, it's behind the front axle line. So that's kind of interesting. I just learned that earlier today from John, who came up and had a chat about the car. He used to have a Nürburgring edition, 4.7 litre. This is the 4.3. I feel the front left tyre doesn't really like it that much. Possibly it's a little bit low on pressure. We didn't actually check the pressures. I just realised I'm not meant to be doing tyre squeal there, sorry about that. So yeah, gearbox for circuit use, and by extension, country road driving, I'd say manual's better. I'd say this car definitely feels quicker. Hey, we're just going to nip past if you don't. I know. Here you go. What are you doing? Let's let this aerial atom go by, and then hopefully we'll be able to jump past the caterer as well. He can clear the way for us. Thank you. So we're not allowed to overtake in the corners. Come on, chap. Thank you. So chassis doesn't feel as different as I thought it was going to feel, honestly. Which is to say that it feels really nice. I was expecting it to be a little bit stiffer sprung. I guess this is kind of a mini GT car, really. It's not a race car, is it? Slightly squirrely under brake, and I suspect the tyre pressures are not quite right, especially on the front with this. It was actually delivered, and it pretty much, well, it's got a puncture in the left rear tyre actually, so we should stop and check that soon. Another aerial atom trying to get past. Kind of want to get clear of these atoms, really. Cool little corner. So we'll let this one go. It's got wings and everything. Come on, mate. See if we can follow them a little bit. No, I don't think we're going to be able to follow them, are we? Yeah, so the cars feel more similar than I thought, really. So turn one, I think fourth's better. Not as spectacular, but there's quite a nice amount of torque from the V8, from the 4.3 litre. Allows you to get on the power nice and early, very well balanced. I think the balance, bizarrely, kind of felt a bit better on the DB9. There's a little bit more push understeer from the V8 Vantage, which does surprise me. Was not expecting that. But arguably, I think it's a bit more fun. I don't know if that's just because it's manual, so you can play with the car a little bit more. Feels like it could do with being a little bit stiffer sprung. I think the brakes are better with this car. I suspect that's because it's just a bit lighter. It's probably the only reason. It's probably got the exact same brakes. Could do with a little bit more side support because I'm a weird shape. So in a manual car, in order to reach the, to be able to depress the clutch, I need to be too close to the wheel. Overcooked into the hairpin a bit there. Keep forgetting about the no tyre squeal idea. But I mean, the engine's just glorious. I'd probably prefer slightly stiffer suspension, just based on the fact that I was expecting this to be more sort of race breds than the DB9. But I suspect it'll be really nice on the road though, really comfortable, just like the DB9 is. Weirdly, the handling dynamics you know, if you didn't know better, you'd think that this engine is kind of heavier than the V12 in the DB9, which is kind of weird, particularly given that it's sort of front mid-engined. What I will say, I'm not sure what tyres it's got on the front. That could be completely 100% of what I'm describing in terms of the slight washing and push understeer. Draws you in this first turn one. I believe it's called Gerard's. But yeah, the car's quite responsive, arguably more than the DB9 to mid-corner liftoff. If you feel like a little bit of understeer, just kind of lift off the throttle momentarily and the car rotates as you want it to do. I suspect this car just needs a bit of a geo alignment. Sell the tracking correctly. That's more the speed for the hairpin. And it probably needs some better tyres on the front. I've just backed off to let it cool down a little bit. And the camera's well mounted there, James. The camera's just fell off on the rear. So even at slow speeds, that's going for a little wander. Interesting, which one is better? Well, I need to think about that. It's not as clear cut as I thought. I was actually thinking, obviously the V8 Vantage is going to be better on circuit, obviously. It's just kind of much more of a track car. I'm going to do another lap just to get the temps down, just slowly. But yeah, it's not as clear cut as I thought. Don't get me wrong, I really like this car. And I think it'll be really good around the Nürburgring as well. We're now thinking we can take this, see if we can get Misha to drive it in a couple of weeks. He's going to have a go in the Alfa Giulia Quadrifoglio. Because perhaps me and him could have a little play, maybe him in this car, me in the Quadrifoglio, because it's probably quicker. So I noticed yesterday when I was driving the V8 Vantage, there's only one left-hand corner at Mallory Park, and in that corner on the exit, it was kind of like bouncing around like a bucking bronco, and I thought, well, that's not quite right. So I thought before coming to a decision on which is the better driver's car, I'd like to drive it home on the road, just kind of see what it's like. And it was pretty obvious on the journey home that the offside rear damper is completely blown. So I thought we'd better get it here today, get it up on the ramp and just double confirm that is the issue, get the parts ordered so we can get it ready for the Nürburgring next week. I can't really see anything that would suggest the damper's blown, but let's give it a little feel. That feels like it's moving far too easily to me. Try the other side. Oh yeah, that's completely different. Yeah, I mean, I'm no mechanic, as you know, but that's definitely not right. I'm just surprised there's no kind of oil around the damper. Maybe it's just been like it for such a long time that it's all long gone. But yeah, we need to get the parts ordered anyway, or the part. We need to get a new damper, get Jay to fit it this week so that the car's ready to go to the Nürburgring. I would not want to drive it around the Nürburgring like this, honestly. It's just far too... Mallory Park's enough. So yeah, we'll get the parts and more importantly, we need to do the conclusion. Which is the better driver's car? They're equally well balanced, I would say. I don't think the V8 Vantage has a better inherent balance. What it does have is a lower weight by 230 kilos. And you can feel that it's a lighter car, but I wouldn't say you could feel it's 230 kilos lighter, to be honest. And the other thing that I forgot to mention, or didn't occur to me to mention while we were on track, was the fact that the V8 Vantage has got a shorter ratio gearbox, which is in almost every instance, better on circuit. So a couple of things in its favour there. But I think the big takeaway for me is I was surprised how little difference there is between the two cars in terms of the feel and the sort of driving pleasure you get. Combined with the fact that, I mean, this is probably why it doesn't feel that much lighter than the DB9, is because it's got heavier steering and relatively heavy clutch. So, but all in all, I think all things considered and taking into account the couple of issues with this car, it's fair to say that the V8 Vantage is a better driver's car than the Aston Martin DB9, but only just. And that's the key thing. If you ask me which car I would prefer to drive on the road and track in combination, I would say DB9 is a better car. Cue the comments.